So. Cool. Yep.
Alrighty, so next up we have social media and AI with Joel. So Joel is our CMO from Jim's Group. He's been with Jim's Group for 10 or so years now, Joel?
12, yeah.
12 years, and he has been a mighty force in taking our franchisee count up to over 5,000 franchisees. Now that is due mostly to his social media and video creation with Jim. He looks after Jim's LinkedIn, YouTube,
Everything, most
pretty
things.
much everything. Anyway,
things.
let's welcome in Joel for this morning.
Cool. Thank you very much, Emma. So we've got around an hour. It seems like a long time, but it's not for this session as well. The purpose of this session is just to plant some ideas and just to show you what our franchisees are doing and what you're allowed to do as well. And we hope that you do as a franchisee. As Emma alluded to, the biggest impact in gyms in the last probably 20 years has been social media and video. 2019, for around 10 years, from 2009 to 2019, we were always around 3,200, 3,600 franchisees. And then 2019, a lot of the stuff you see with Jim online, I used to hear all the time in the office and think, why don't we stick a camera in his face and get this out there? And since then, we've grown from 3,600 franchisees to 5,000, I think 400 franchisees at last count, all right? So it's been a really big impact on our business. And it can be a massive business. It can be a massive impact in yours as well. So, as franchisees, we do encourage you to use social media if you want to do it. We're really different to most franchise groups. Most franchise groups will be really restrictive, all right? They'll say, here's a template, here's a pack of templates you can use, and you have to get every post approved, and they'll put all these roadblocks in the way before using social media. We don't, all right? So we give a level of trust as well to use social media, because we know how important it is for the business. It can be as well. If you've got any questions as well, please ask me now during my session in an hour. Don't wait till the Wednesday and ask Jimmy, who'll have no idea and he'll refer you to me. So make sure you ask anything about social media now during the session or after as well. I'm here on site all week too. If you don't know already, we do have Jim's Group presences on all these different social media platforms as well. We're obviously on Facebook, we've got Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We've got podcasts as well, the Jim's Group podcast, we have the YouTube channel as well. And we do have a really big TikTok presence as well. We've actually just crossed 100,000 subs on YouTube the other day, and we'll get to around 100,000 followers on TikTok too as well. And our podcast, we probably have 2 episodes a week where we interview franchisees. So if you're unsure about gyms still as well, and you want to actually learn from other franchisees, I really recommend our Gyms podcast. I interview around 2 franchisees a week. We've got 200 episodes in the Gyms podcast. And it's all with people who were sitting in your position, and then we interview them 6 months later, sometimes a month later. So it's a really good source of resource for you guys as well. So the Gyms podcast, I recommend it as well. Now, who here watched a video before coming to training as well, just out of interest? Yep, cool. What did you watch? Anyone want to yell it out? A few of them, great. Ask Jim stuff, yep, cool. YouTube, awesome. Obviously made your decision a bit easier to come here. Cool. So as your decision was a bit easier to come here due to our content, you can do the same thing as a business owner. Your social media presence can build trust, connections and stuff with people, and hopefully make them more inclined to use your business. And it's really important with gyms, because even though everyone knows gyms does everything, they don't exactly know all the time what all of our services are. So social media is a really great way of sharing those messages as well about new divisions. I really recommend you join our Facebook communities. So we have a really good active Gyms Group franchisee group. It's got around 1,300 members now as well. So if you search Gyms Group franchisees only, put in the code NEW, I recommend you join that. If you post in there, you'll get a response from someone within two minutes. Doesn't matter where you are in Australia, could be selling gear, could be a question, whatever it is. You'll have, within 2 minutes, you'll have a franchisee responding to you as well. So it's a really good thing to join. Your division and regions as well, they should have a Facebook page or some sort of WhatsApp group for your franchisees only. Really good thing to join as well. So if you're in a larger region, which might be spread out a bit, join the Facebook group. You post in there about what happens here. I've got a job I want to transfer here, all that sort of stuff. Someone will get back to you within 5 minutes. So join any of your divisional or regional specific ones as well. We also have industry Facebook groups. So if you're new in the industry, there's a lot of lawn mowing contracting association groups and all these different things as well. Join any local groups as well. So with other business owners, I recommend that as well. There's a community and a group for everything on Facebook. Really, really important to join as well. Okay, now in regards to work generation, and this is a new thing for gyms, and this is something that franchisees are using more and more, which is local groups. So who here is a member of a local group in their area, like their local community page, a buy, sell, swap, something like that? Yep, most people who use Facebook, you'll be part of some community group. I think it's probably one of the best things actually about Facebook is the groups. So we have a lot of franchisees who join their local groups and they generate a lot of work from them as well. All right, it's not their primary source of work, but they can pick up a lot of jobs. I'm just going to show you some examples of what's been happening. So if you're not familiar, a lot of suburbs, every suburb in Australia or every community will have some sort of group for their area. Depending on the size, it could be 1,000 people, it could be 60,000 people, depending on how big it is. So you can see up here, this is in my area here. This group's got around probably 8,000 people, but this customer of this franchisee posted his business card into a local group saying, this guy just did my car, did a great job, give him a call. Now, I took a screenshot of that at the time because I saw that, but it had around 60 comments in the end with people saying, I'm going to get in touch, I'm going to get in touch, right? So because this guy's done one good job, his customers put it into one group, he maybe probably got 20 to 15 leads out of that, and they probably would have been for free as well because they would have went to the mobile number. So this is a really powerful tool, all right? A lot of franchisees generate thousands of dollars of work via Facebook groups every year. It's a really good source of work as well when you're starting out and getting your name out there. Okay, so with these things as well, I would encourage if you do have customers who want to help you out, obviously leaving Google reviews and stuff is great, but they can actually share your details in local groups as well, which is really good. Yeah, hand up there. Yep.
I just want to ask, are we allowed to advertise our business cards like that on social media?
Yeah, great question. You personally with your mobile, if your mobile number's on it, no.
So how
yep.
that is like that, we can't advertise.
That's because his customer did it. His customer, not him.
So they're allowed to do that.
Correct, absolutely.
We, as a franchisee, aren't allowed to advertise our details like that on.
Not with the mobile number, no, because you'll get in trouble from your franchisor. But your customer can. Okay, so quite often your customer can help you out and share your details in a local group.
As long as it's not coming from you.
Correct. Yep. Family, yes, family you can as well. We do have people who do that. But the reason why we allow these groups is because what happened was there was a bit of drought up in North Queensland, all right? We're throwing a lot of money at Google Ads, we couldn't get any traction. So what we're doing is we're allowing franchisees to post in a local group about needing more work, and that would help them get more work because a lot of people who weren't searching in Google for gutters or whatever, they'd see it in the local group and they'd get onto them that way as well. So this is just a secondary work source, but this is just showing you on Facebook, these local groups can be really, really powerful as well. Okay, so that's just showing you how your customers can help you out. Now, this is another one here as well. So the dog wash division allows this. They're a division which allows franchisees to use full range of social media, whether it be TikTok, have YouTube channels, all that sort of stuff. Now I'm just going to show you an example here. So this franchisee here has joined his local group called Ringwood East Community Group. Don't know how many people are in it, but he's posted a picture of himself with his trailer, with his number there as well. And he's put a bit of a spiel about himself and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's something which we do have franchisees do. So when they start their franchise, they're obviously ready to go day one. You put your gym's leads on and hopefully you get a lot from the call centre. But I do recommend you join your local community groups, as many of these suburb groups as there are, and you do post a picture of yourself and that, hey, I'm the new gym in the area, I provide this and this and this, you can contact me. All right? We have franchisees. There's a guy in car detailing who I know just up the road, I've met him before. We interviewed him. He did one of these posts in his local groups. He's up in Linda, around there. He did one of these posts in his local group, which was just him in front of his vehicle, and he was telling me that 99% of his work came from that post, and he just built referrals from there. So he's never taken a lead in 3 years, and all he did was post this in his local group, and that's where all his work's been generated. He's a really good franchisee, all right? So I'm just trying to illustrate to you, they're powerful. These Facebook groups are really, really powerful. Your franchisor will do the best they can in advertising for you. They're really good at it. Okay, but where you can help them out as well is you can get active in all the local area marketing stuff, which Sam spoke about in day one, but also in an online environment. These groups are a really, really powerful source of work if you do want to use them, especially if you're in a new division, which people might not know about gyms, if you're from a smaller division, to get some awareness around what you do. You'll be quite surprised what you can pick up from this as well. Now with this here, he's put a link in there which I wouldn't advise to. Now call 131546. But what will happen is most people will DM you, all right? If they're on Facebook, they're going to be more inclined to send you a direct message as opposed to call your mobile number or call the call centre and ask you, right? So what they'll do is they'll click your name up there and send you a direct message. So whenever you do these posts in these groups, always put DM for a free quote or DM to learn more. Most of the time, they will send you a direct message. And Jim's Dog Wash solely exists on this as well. Now, I must reiterate this point here. If you do get a job via social media, you want to enter this job into Gyms Online as a pickup, because you won't pay for it. If they do call up and whatever, you won't pay for the lead fee, it'll be your customer. Also, if you want to claim pay for work guarantee, which is a really important part of gyms, we need to know that that person exists. They've got to be in the system, okay? So if you do pick up a lead via social media, please make sure you enter them in the system so you don't get charged for a lead fee if they do call via the call centre and come back through to you, okay? So enter them into the system. Now, pay for work. Now, this is something that's a bit more newer. Hopefully you don't need to use the pay for work guarantee, but it is a really important part of the gym system, so the income guarantee. Now, income guarantee, in the past, you've had to go around asking in person, all right? And it can be quite daunting. If you go around knocking on someone's door and you're not used to that, saying, hey, I'm here to give you a free service, people are like, what's the catch, right? So it can be quite daunting to do that. We do have franchisees. This is a New Zealand franchisee. When they're doing their pay for work guarantee, they'll actually will post in local groups like this or put posts on their page saying, hey, you know, free community cleans for those in need, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll do their pay for work guarantee via the Facebook post. Okay, so you'll be taught about pay for work guarantee and going in person, but you can also use these Facebook groups to promote. If you're trying to do the pay for work guarantee, you can use Facebook groups to promote it. And it might be a bit easier for you. If you're a bit more shy and a bit more introverted, posting in the local group that you're there to do that sort of work might be way easier than going and knock on someone's door as well. So please do that. Same thing if you do get work via this, enter the job as a pickup in our system in Gyms Online, which Steph will tell you about later on. All right, why is it important? Okay. Why is it important? Little junior gym shirt. Okay. Really, as I said, it's really, really important for us. All competitors now, if you're a small business, most competitors will get a social media page up within 5 minutes and away you go. So it's becoming more and more competitive. But the great thing about gyms is we've got so many franchisees, so we can have so much real estate on these digital platforms as well. But if you don't think it's important, I'm just going to run through some stats for you and throw some questions out. So how many people have a social media account in Australia? Who wants to throw a number out there? How many people? Yep, just yell it out.
So I have like one Facebook, Instagram.
Yep, but how many people in total you reckon in the population? Have a guess.
90%.
90%, yep. 21 million, how much? Throw some numbers out there.
15 million.
15 million, a bit higher? 19, 20, a bit higher? 30, a bit lower? 94. I heard 22 from someone. 22 mil, all right, population of Australia is 27 million, just crossed it. 22 million people have a social media account, all right? And now, in regards to number of accounts, this is quite an interesting one I found out. What's the number of average accounts that one person will have? So they might have a Twitter, they might have 2 Instagrams. What'd you say, 6? 3, a bit higher? 4, a bit higher? 5, a bit higher? 7, yeah, it's 7. Number's actually 7.2, but it's 7. So 7 accounts per person, which is why we have a presence in so many platforms, because there's different people living in different things all the time. Now, what's the average time per day someone spends on social media? This is the average age of 16 to 65. Who wants to throw some numbers out there? 3 hours. Dob in yourself. Who wants to dob in their own time? 5? Too much? Yep. 7? 7's a bit of a concern. 7's a bit too much. Now, it's around 2 hours. So 2 hours per day is the average times 7. You've got 14 hours a week. Someone is going through their phone, all right, in social media, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, right? 14 hours a week. Someone said 7 at the front, so it's a lot more for you. But I'm a lot as well, because that's my job. But it's a lot of time, right? So 14 hours a week, all right? And we're actually finding a lot more now that during the pandemic, a lot more of the older generation started getting on Facebook a lot more. So Facebook's skewing a lot more older now, which is great for us because a lot of our clients will be older. So for us, it's really, really good. So 14 hours a week that people are spending in there. I think it's like 90 feet a day people scroll on their phone, which is like 30 metres, all right? And I think the people pick up their phone 342 times a day to look at it or something like that, some crazy stat. So we're addicted to these devices, unfortunately, but it's good for gyms and it's a good source of work as well. So another thing I should mention as well with groups, I didn't mention, who here wants to do NDIS stuff or who here is planning on doing NDIS stuff? Yeah. So there's a lot of NDIS plan management groups on Facebook. Now, we have a lot of franchisees who source thousands and thousands of dollars of work from the NDIS every year, and they get it via Facebook groups with NDIS plan managers. So if you want to do NDIS stuff, search in your area for NDIS plan managers or NDIS, whatever it is. There will be groups for that as well. So if people like laundry or other divisions, that's a really good way of getting involved with NDIS. And it's starting to skew a bit older now as well, so you will have a lot of those people in there as well. Now, another thing for us actually as well, I should mention, is that the discovery of the brand. So a lot of people are discovering about brand, especially with gyms now. We're finding a lot of people are discovering about gyms on TikTok, believe it or not, about different services we do as well. So it's around about 35% now that people use social media as a main source of brands or services for discovery. So it means they'll learn about it for the first time. Who here became a franchisee or learned about us via a Facebook ad or something like that? Yep, cool. So it's becoming more and more often that way as well. But we're actually finding, as I said, we have, I don't know if anyone saw the Jim's Beauty division that's launched. Anyone here from Jim's Beauty? Yep, so we got like national TV and that all based on a TikTok post. So it's a really, really powerful source of discovery as well. Now, I just want to run through some stats as well for our divisional importance. So in Jim's Dog Wash, really, really important for them. Around 99% of their leads in 2023 were generated via Facebook and Instagram. Why do you think that is? People love dogs, yes, exactly right. People love dogs. They see a dog, cool, I've got a dog too, I'm going to book in a message with the groomer directly, right? We're seeing this becoming more and more often for divisions like mowing and cleaning and stuff like that. Franchisors are now advertising for those services as well. They go really hard in Google, which we do, but they'll also do another place of awareness over here by advertising with Facebook. So that's something that is becoming more and more important. It's only going to go that way because these apps are trying to make small businesses use them more and more and more. They're adding in new features all the time, like link clicks and all that sort of stuff. So these apps are only going to go that way more for lead generation. So it's a really, really important tool to use as well. I just want to show you about the power of it as well. There's a guy called, does anyone follow this building inspection guy called Site Inspections, where he wears a black vest and he goes around and he's got, you know, non-compliant and all these funny things. All right. If you don't know him, I recommend you look him up. But around in 2019, this guy started, he didn't have a website or nothing like that. He's a building inspector. And he had a TikTok account called The Site Inspector. And he used to go around with his thing and just go and do building inspections and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, and he only started in 2019, had no website, no nothing. Now that guy has built up a massive business. He's got a massive following all in the base on TikTok. And now he's charging around $2,000 a building inspecting. Average building inspection costs $550. So he's 4 times the value of his job just because he's got a really big social media presence, right? So it's a really, really important tool if you do use it. I'm going to show you some franchisee examples of what our guys are doing. Now, there are 3 rules, and the gentleman before alluded to them about the posting on with your mobile number and stuff like that. But these are just the 3 basic rules, okay? Now, the number 1 rule in gyms with anything is speak to your franchisor. As Melanie, you would know, speak to your franchisor about anything, all right? So check with them first. We have divisions who we allow them to do different things, all right? So Dog Wash, for example, allows their franchisees to use TikTok. They can have Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. That's what they want them to do. They allow them to do it. That's fantastic. Whereas mowing, they might be a bit more restrictive. And you might have 5 franchisees. Yep, 1 second, mate. I'll just get you in a minute. You might have 5 guys in one suburb and it can cause a bit of issues, all right? So you just got to check with your regional franchisor first and go, what am I allowed to do? Now, if they don't know, they'll refer it to me and I will generally approve most things. I think it's an important tool to use. But if you're not sure, check with your franchisor. Yep, hand up there.
So do we still have to use gyms in front of our social media profiles?
Yeah, great question. Me personally, like, there's no strict and hard first rule on how you set up your handle. So if you're not familiar with it, you have a username on these business pages or a handle. So, you know, if you're not familiar with it, that little @ sign or whatever it is, you know, we do prefer if you use gyms, your division name plus your territory. I just think if someone's doing, that's just what you pay for. We do have people who might go, you know, Gym Lawn Man or something like that. But I personally think if you can do it as your territory. If your territory is not available, just try and do a bit of a workaround, but try and keep it gyms in your division name. Just because if people go to the search bar and type in the name gyms, your profile will come up. If it's called something else, it won't come up.
But if you use hashtags at the end or something like that,
Yeah. Well, if you want to use that, you can. Yeah, it's up to you. But we prefer if you use your territory name just to keep it nice and clean. Cool. So my number 1 rule is talk to your franchisor. Number 2, no personal mobile numbers or email addresses on Jim's branded profiles. Always keep it 131546 or the website URL. But in reality, what people do is if they come across to your Instagram profile or your Facebook page, they will send you a direct message. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you've got your mobile number there really or not, to be honest, but they will send you a direct message. But just to keep everything in line, always have the divisional details. Then customer must initiate contact first via messages. So if a customer sees your content and you post something and they message you first and say, hey, do you do this? Can you give me a free quote? You're allowed to interact with them, so you can respond to them. The way we treat it is if you're like at a supermarket, for example, and you're in your gym shirt and someone walks up to you and says, oh, can you give me a quote on this? You don't say, go to the call centre so I can find out your territory so I can talk to you, right? You deal with them on the spot. We treat it up as a pick-up, a walk-up. Same sort of thing on social media. So if you're posting content and then someone out of the blue messages you and you can do that job and you deal with them that way, you're allowed to interact with them. So it's an encouragement for you to post content as well. We have a lot of franchisees who will do a post and then from that post, someone will go, just seeing you've done this video, they'll comment or they'll send them a DM and they'll pick up work from it that way. So that's your incentive to post on social media if you want to do it. All right, cool. Now what do we allow? We allow Facebook and Instagram generally as a stock standard. Yep, hand question there, yep.
So Sorry, but the one before, you know how you said, say, if someone came in the supermarket and you give them your details, such and such,
Yeah.
and then you put him in the system, what if he's in somebody else's territory?
No, it's okay.
You're still allowed
Yep.
to do that?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they've come up to you first and approached you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so for example, the example Sam would have talked about yesterday, you can't go outside your territory into rival, no, not into rival, but into other.
So once you get him and you put him in the system, it's got a flag and it's got to be in the system.
Yeah, be your person, correct.
He's in another territory.
No, I won't do that, no. So if they walk up to you and you enter them into the system as a pickup, doesn't matter where they live, it'll be your person. Yeah, so that's really important.
What if they were a previous Jim's customer?
If they were a previous Jim's customer and they go back through the call centre again, they'll go to the person who the lead was originally allocated
If they're
to.
a previous customer and they come up to me in a supermarket.
Well, it's up to you.
I had a job done with another mowing guy 10 years earlier.
Well, if they come to you in the supermarket, you'd give them your business card and they go to you directly because your business card would have your mobile number on it. That's what they would do. Yeah, good questions. Cool. Yep, hand up there, yep.
When we make those accounts, do we get like a Jim's email or a business message?
Great question. Yeah, you get a Jim's email. Yep. When you start on the system here, we do have, which division are you in, cleaning or which one? You're in car? Garage doors, yes. So you'll have a Jim's Garage Doors email. Yep, and they'll be set up for you. Yeah, cool. All right, so these are our platforms here. We have Facebook and Instagram. We allow Facebook and Instagram generally because they are connected with each other. We can have some sort of overarching control on Facebook as well, the structure. They've also got the most people on them. So Facebook's still growing, believe it or not, still growing and picking up users all the time. And Instagram as well, so they connect together as well. If I'm going to pick a platform though, if I'm a franchisee, I'd recommend if you don't want to use it because you don't like social media, that's okay. But if you want to use it for work, I'd be concentrating on Facebook. Get good with Facebook, use Facebook, get into those groups and stuff like that. Facebook's the one I would be really concentrating on for work lead generation. If you just want to post because you want to post videos and you're creative and post photos of your jobs and stuff like that, just want to build a profile that way, Instagram is fantastic for it as well and generally a little bit easier to use. But if you want to get work lead generation, Facebook's something you want to concentrate on. Now in regards to these profile setups as well, your franchisor will help you out. They should have something in place to help you set up these, or they'll set them up for you as well and give them access to it as well. If you want to do social media outside of Facebook or Instagram, whether it be TikTok, you want to do a YouTube channel and stuff, check with your franchisor first. We do have franchisees in mowing, for example, who have their own little mowing vlogs and stuff like that, branded as Jim's Mowing, which I think is great. But we get that stuff approved as well. So just check with us if you want to do something outside the norm. Now, one thing I'm going to spend a little bit of time on because I think it's really, really important to franchisees is Google My Business Profiles, or Google Business Profile now they're called. Is everyone familiar with these sorts of things here, these listings? So when you go to Google and you type in best restaurant near me, you get those three. You get a map and you get the 3 results and you get the star ratings. Everyone familiar with that? Yep. So that's called Google Business Profile. It used to be called Google My Business. Now, your franchisor will create one of those listings for you. Now, they're really, really important to build up because what happens is if someone searches for a search term, for example, I'm going to show you how it operates. I'm going to show you this in practice. So, for example, if I type in skip bin hire, right? So this is called a search term or a keyword. You'll see here, I get presented with a whole bunch of results. Now, I'm going to show you just in gyms, our franchisors spend most of their money on what we call Google Ads. So this is here, it says sponsored there. So that means they've paid to be shown in this position for this search term, all right? Now, if I click on that, for example, that costs money. So that could cost them $4, $5, depending on how competitive it is, and I do nothing, I'm going to go away, all right? I'm going to cost these guys some money as well. So you can see it gets quite expensive, all right? So you can see it gets quite expensive. So, but if I scroll down here, you'll see here these map results here, okay? So this is called Google My Business or Google Business Profile. Every single one of you here when you start, you'll have this set up for you. It's a bit more onerous now to get this set up, but really go to the effort of getting this set up. And then what will happen is you'll have a listing in that position, okay? And you're all going to start with 0 reviews. What I recommend you do is you get the link to your profile and you start giving it to customers as early as you can. Because what will happen is if people are searching in your area and your territory for your service, like I showed you then, be mower, carpenter, whatever, your business will start showing up here. Now, if I click on Jim Skip Bins Mooroolbark, if I click on that website, if I do it via the phone or via the website, it costs $0, okay? So I've just shown you before, I've cost that company $10 or whatever it is clicking in those Google Ads areas, whereas if I click on the GMB or the Google Business Profile here, it costs $0, all right? So what happens in gyms, if you're a franchisee and you get regular customers, what they tend to do is they tend to neglect this, and that's fine because they're busy. they neglect it a bit, and you'll see a lot of gyms listings with 0 reviews. And it's not because we don't have the customers. You might have a franchisee get 500 5-star gyms reviews, but they don't get any on Google, all right? So if you do have these set up for you, it's really important that you invest some time at the start in getting these getting reviews to the listings. What I recommend you do is you Google your name. So whatever division you're going in and your search term. So if you're in car detailing, for example, I'm from Warrnambool, so it might be car detailing Warrnambool. See what business there are showing up in those 3 results. And then whoever's number 1, look at their number of reviews and then beat them. All right? So you might have a business who might be showing up number 1, only has 8 5-star reviews, so it's easy to beat. Now, the impact of these listings, we have, especially in skip-ins, it's really, really important. But the impact of these listings is that we have divisions where franchisors have put this in place and really driven their guys and girls to do it. Their leads have doubled and tripled in their areas, and they haven't spent an extra cent on advertising. So it's really, really important. So who's in a division which is once-off clients? Skip-ins is? Who else? You're mowing? Yep. Building inspections as well is a perfect one. So if you're in a division where there's once-off clients, you're probably going to be competing in search results a bit more. You need to be showing up there all the time. And the way you can show up there more and more is with these as well. Now, if you're a franchisee who really wants to build a big business as well and get as much work as possible, having these in place with a lot of reviews is really, really important. Now, what a lot of franchisees do as well, okay, I'm going to put this up here for you. Now, it's also becoming more important in customers' decisions. Now, who here, when they have to look for a plumber or electrician, uses that and will go to the review section over the Google Ads? Yep, I do, personally myself, and a lot of people will do that as well. They know that people are paid to be in that sponsored area, so they'll go to the organic result and they'll look at some reviews and read about it and all that sort of stuff. So, becoming more and more important. Now, what will happen is you'll get a link like this. Now, that link there will be for your location. Now, what you can do is you can put that into anything you want. So it'd be a text message, it can be emails, it can be a QR code, cards. We have people get QR codes and cards and stuff like that for that. And then what happens is you give it to your customer at the end of the job and say, hey, do you mind leaving me a 5-star review as well? You can offer an incentive, even though they say don't do that, but it's up to you. But it's really, really important to do. Now, what I would do is if you obviously get them to leave a 5-star, a bit of writing, and if they can add a photo about the job, that's even better. They get thousands of views, those photos as well. But really, really important to build this up. I'm just going to show you on the board here. This is Jim's Pool Care. Pool Care has a really good system for their guys. They have SMS, they have invoicing quotes, and they do it via their email signatures as well. And this is an example of a text message that they send to customers at the end of every job with a link to their Google page for a review. Okay. So we do have 2 survey systems in gyms. We have the gyms customer survey, which is for quality control. And then we have these secondary online surveys. For everyone taking photos as well, we do have this presentation on a USB drive as well, so don't worry about taking photos. Okay, now we're going to talk about content. I'm sure you saw all the gyms stuff, which is great. Now, we haven't spoken about content too much, but I'm going to show you a lot of examples with it in a minute. But first, I want to get your ideas on it. So if you're going to go away from here and you go, right, day 1, I've got a social media profile for my gym's franchise. What stuff am I going to post on it? What type of stuff? Who wants to get out some ideas? Introduction, yep, perfect. Meet the team, yep. Intro, meet the team, great ones. Yes, services is important. Photos, yep. What type of photos? Before and afters, that's the one, perfect. Good one. What else? What else can you post? What else do you see when you post, when you look at stuff online? What do you see people doing?
What about the gym logo, brand?
Gym, yep, gym's logo for sure, yep. Video, yep, most important thing. This is what we're going to spend a bit of time on talking today, video. What else could you post? What's that? Entertainment, yep, absolutely. What did I just show you up before as well? Reviews. A lot of franchisees, my writing is really bad, sorry as well. Reviews, okay? So these are just a few things, okay? I'm going to show you some examples of what franchisees do, but there's a lot of things you can post online. Okay, so let's go to some of the examples. Now, before we go anywhere, someone said the logo, but this is our brand positioning. I want you to keep this in mind when you go about creating content and posting on social media and how to use it with gyms. But our brand positioning is your local expert. The reason why we went to that was back in 2018, we did a survey of just people who don't use gyms, and we asked them a whole bunch of questions. It cost us a lot of money to do this survey. And the 2 things that came back to us all the time from people who don't use gyms was they thought that the franchisee was just an employee or a subcontractor sent from head office. So they didn't know you were a small business owner. And they didn't know that the person was actually an expert at what they do. They thought that the person coming to do the building inspection was a mowing guy throwing his hand at building inspections, right? So we really need to work hard on showing that we're locals in the area and we're experts at what we do, okay? So when you post content, think, how can I show I'm a local? How can I show I'm an expert at what I do, okay? And that's the stuff that you really want to concentrate on posting. Now, we're going to run through some examples here. So someone mentioned before and afters. Before and afters are our most popular post that we do in gyms. Dog is blind and now the dog can see. So really easy to say I'm a good dog groomer when I see the dog. All right, so before and afters are great because you're seeing the work, all right? I'm seeing proof that this person can do the job. I'm seeing that you're an expert at what you're doing, all right? Now, even if you don't use social media, I have a lot of franchisees who email me personally their photos and say, hey, we want to post these on the main account, and we post it. So you've got my email there as well. You can always send me stuff. Franchisees DM us on Instagram, all that sort of stuff as well. We always share your content as well to our profile, so please make sure you post it. Now, photos as well, it's easy. Anyone can do it. Doesn't matter, unless you've got like some old Nokia phone with Snake on it or something with no camera. But most people have a camera phone, you can do it. So before and afters are our number one most popular posts that people do in gyms as well. Next one here, I'm just going to show you some stuff that people do behind the scenes. People do anything with gyms, and now there's no rules on what you can post. We don't need to vet anything. You've got a pretty much free reign. We've even had people take that Gymland flag to Egypt and of all places and post it and things. So you can post anything you like. Local stuff, we do have a lot of people who sponsor their kids' basketball teams, footy teams, there's gyms and all that sort of stuff. That's really great for showing your locals in the area, and those basketball teams and sports teams share it to their profiles as well. So there's anything you can do as well. And it doesn't just have to be work related. We have a guy up here called Patrick. He did like the firefighter stair challenge and stuff like that. We shared a lot of his content, which wasn't even branded as gyms, through our social media profiles as well, showing we're doing some good stuff in the community. Yep, hand up at the back. Yep.
Like these teams they're sponsoring, so who is sponsoring them? Are we getting any like rebate from here, head office?
Yeah, you won't get a rebate from here. You can ask Jim about a rebate, but I don't think you're going to get one. No, what happens is a lot of franchisees, when they're doing pretty well, they want to sponsor their kids' team. They just sponsor them and they put the jersey on. They just do it out of their own pocket. Some regions, depending on if they agree on it as a group, might sponsor something. So in Geelong, for example, they sponsor a horse race. So there's like the Geelong Gyms Mowing Cup or something like that down there. That's what all the franchisees agree on to do. So yeah, there's no rebate from Jim. No, it'd be something out of your own pocket. Yeah, you can talk to your franchisor about it. I can't predict what they're going to say, but you can ask your franchisor. But we encourage it. We'll encourage it. If you do it, we'll share the pictures and all that sort of stuff. But I would talk to your franchisor about that sort of stuff. It doesn't hurt to ask. Worst they can do is say no. But I wouldn't ask Jim, just giving you a heads up. Yeah. Yes, hand up. If you need to get access to what, sorry? Oh, okay, great question. Yeah, if you need to get access to pictures and stuff like that, yeah, depending on what the picture is, you can ask National Franchisor and we'll help you out, or you can ask your franchisor, and your franchisor generally has all the logos and things like that as well. So for printing and things like that, I do get asked probably every second week, can we have the EPS file for the printer and stuff like that, and we'll get that to you. So yes, absolutely. Cool. And as I said, pretty much anything as well. So any photo you want to do branded as gyms, just post it up there as well. Reviews all the time. This is the introduction post that got that guy 99% of his work called Matt Mason. He posted that in the group. Yep. Hand at the back. Yep.
Joel, just in regards to the before and after photos, do we have to obtain permission from the actual?
Yeah, great question. So permission of posting pictures of people's houses and stuff online. Look, we've never had a problem with it in 5 years. So you can just ask and say, hey, do you mind if I post it online? They'll say, cool. We do have people who want to give forms and stuff like that, but consent can be revoked any time. So you don't want to say, oh, you signed a form, I'm not going to take it down, right? So you just ask them, can I post it, and that's okay. But I've never heard of a problem in 5 years, and we've done a lot of posts. So as a courtesy, it's good to ask them, but it's not a problem. Where it comes in to be a problem is maybe cleaning. Excuse me. So if you're inside a house and cleaning, for example, that'd be one where you want to check, okay? Whereas with mowing and gardening and outdoor stuff, I've never really heard of a problem at all. It'd be very rare. Cool, photos with Jim himself as well. Now, people have cameras. I want to spend a little bit of time just talking about this real quickly as well. Unfortunately, being gyms and being the big brand we are, if you do something wrong, people now have camera phones and will take a photo of it and put it into a Facebook group, and then it causes a whole bunch of issues as well, unfortunately. So when you're in gyms branded vehicles or gyms uniforms as well, don't do any road rage or anything like that. I get it every week. I get someone saying, your guy cut me off and this and that, I want retribution again, all that sort of stuff. So anytime you're driving on the road or you're in your gyms branded vehicles, just be conscious that because it's gyms, we're a big brand, it's easy to take a shot of us. People expect the best. So anytime you're in gyms uniform, expect it. And I'll give you 2 scenarios that have happened recently. I showed you about the power of Facebook groups for work lead generation. That can be also very damaging. We had a customer in mowing. The franchisee didn't do a bad job, but there was some dispute over the quote or something like that. And rather than the lady deciding to sort out the franchisee individually, she decided to post it into a pretty big Facebook group in New South Wales. And as you can imagine, there's 150 comments saying, I won't be using gyms, this and that. And it was a completely garbage thing that she did. And she ended up taking it down after we got onto her and it was rectified. But that's how damaging these things can be. And because it's gyms, people will jump on it. Another one we had recently, which is a bit more humorous depending on how you looked at it, was a guy, it was in the Cronulla Sutherland Shire Facebook group, which is quite a large group. And there was a photo of a franchisee in there. And the guy just relieved himself in the next door neighbour's garden. And the lady took a photo of it and put it into a local group. And what do you think happened? I'm never going to use gyms mowing again, all that sort of stuff. So if you go away from here and do anything silly, just don't do it in your gym's uniform or your gym's vehicle. But when you're in gym's uniform and gym's vehicle, as we'll be telling you for the whole week, you're held to a higher standard. And because it's gyms, because of the brand recognition and name, people for social media clout will try and post it and try and get some likes and stuff like that. So just be careful of that sort of thing as well. And that's why I'm going to show you some examples of that as well. Someone said about driving. Yeah, someone driving, some complain about driving. And this is the one about in a Facebook group as well. So this is what happens, unfortunately, now. Before social media, it never used to happen to be an angry call to the call centre or an email. But now with this, it can happen a lot. So we've got to have our standards really high. Now, videos. Now, the number one way to grow a social media account in 2024 is videos, all right? You won't grow anymore with posting a photo. It used to be that case back in the day, but now you will only get reach with videos. So I'm going to show you a bunch of videos that our franchisees do, and I do encourage you to try it. I'm just going to show you, see if you can see on here some numbers from cleaning, 100,000, 300,000, 3.3 million on these views. So video is the number one way to grow a social media account, and we have some really big franchisees doing this, which I'm going to show you. So one guy I recommend you follow on TikTok is called the Aussie Pool Guy. He's a gyms pool care franchisor or franchisee. He's got around 220,000 followers on there as well. He's done a great job. 300 million views probably in total. It's probably up to 500 million now. And he just posts all the stuff he does about being a franchisee. And you can see here on the numbers on these, this is a grid here. Now, who can see those numbers here? Yeah, 24.6 million and one's got 43.5 million views. This is TikTok. This TikTok gives you a lot of organic reach still, but he's got two videos which have got around 65 million views on them, right? For these pieces of content. If I said to you, go and do a Facebook ad campaign and get me 65 million 3-second views on a video, you'd be up for thousands and thousands of dollars, all right? That's all free reach. So if you do post short form video, which they all want the platforms watch, which is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, they all want short form content. If your video is good, they will give you a lot of reach. So you can see there. But Aussie Pool Guy is one of our guys I recommend you look up. Now I'm going to show you this video which got 43 million views, which you'll see up there. It's just important bloody pool salt in the pool, and somehow got 43 million views, right? It was a trend called ASMR, right? So ASMR, which is like a trend about sounds and stuff like that, and he posted that video and somehow got 43.5 million views, and he probably got 30,000 followers from that one video. So just showing you, it doesn't have to be over a big, well-produced thing. Social media content, things can just go viral for no reason. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you 3 videos. I want you to watch these videos from these divisions and have a look and have to think about how we do this sort of stuff for your own. So the first one is from Dog Wash.
Many people purchase an Uber Group because they believe that they don't share. This isn't strictly true though, because all dogs share, just in different ways. Matt's form of the Ubers when the short fur gets tangled up and wrapped around itself forming knots. If the dead hair isn't removed, the knots fall into matting and it gets closer and closer to the skin. A common mistake that most owners make is to only brush the upper layer of fur, making the matting worse as it pushes more of your hair towards the skin. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments.
Okay, really simple, just educating the client, showing we're an expert at what they do. In that video, they didn't have 2 things. What 2 things didn't it have? Safety, okay. I'd say not too much about safety, but yeah, maybe they might have had gloves, I don't know about that division. But always be OH&S compliant, good point. What else didn't it have? 2 things.
There's no call to action.
No call to action, perfect. That's one of them. No call to action. Yep, no advertising. So sometimes people say no branding in the thing. Yep, which is perfect. But yeah, no call to action. So at the end of it, say, hey, call 131546 if you need help with your cavoodle. Like, have a call to action at the end. There was one more thing that it didn't have, and this is probably the most important thing. Uniform? Yeah, not probably the one I'm looking at, but yes, they could have been branded, but it's captions. 80% of videos are watched without sound. All right, so you've got to have captions in your video. In those apps, there is auto caption tools, okay? All you need to do is press it and it will put captions onto your video for you automatically. Now, because we've got the Australian accent, it will make some mistakes, so you might have to edit it, but within the app, it has auto captions, so always make sure you put captions on as well. All right, I'm going to show you another video now, which is a bit more involved, but you get a great sense of the job here with this one.
So let's enter the stream basket of leads, get a water sample, if you can look right at the circulator. There's quite a lot of leads and sticks on the bottom, so we take a bit of scooping. And make sure we get all the algae off the walls and off the floor. Test the water to check the chemical balance. And as you can see, there's no chlorine, it's got some green. So add some chlorine and some copper to get the production off. Before adding some flop to cause all that fine algae to drop to the bottom. After a few days, and as you can see, it's dropped perfectly to the bottom, so I can vacuum the waste. And you need to go nice and slow, and it takes a little bit of time, so you don't disturb the fine flop. Now the aim is to get the bulk of the flop out, the one perfect, so I'll give it another wash, let that settle, and come back in a few days, and get another vacuum the waste. And then we're done.
Really good video, right? From start to finish, you see how he's an expert at what he does. He's educating you on the process as well. And the great thing with videos with gyms is because people like seeing the transformation from start to finish, and the algorithm likes watch time. So what it does, it tests it to a small amount of people, and it will basically test how quickly someone scrolls off it or not, right? So if you've got a lot of people who are staying and watching your video from start to finish, it will push it more and more and more and go viral. So that had around 500,000 views. Now, what are the two things in the video he didn't do? Captions, yep, didn't do captions exactly. And what was the other thing? Call to action, yep. So didn't do a call to action at the end, all right? So call to action and captions you always want to do in the video. But that's a really great video. Doesn't feel like you're being marketed to. His franchisor, his divisional actually will use that for advertising and stuff online. So this is the stuff that our franchisees are doing in the field. That's a bit more involved though. The way you do that sort of thing is you film it in stages. Now you get better at this. You're not going to do that for your first video, but you basically just film a lot of short videos. It might be 20 videos. You put it into the app and then you do the voiceover over it. So you can try it and you'll learn it. Now the last one I'm going to show you is another guy called Sammy, which is a different style, but it can be just as effective. Really simple video, right? Just does a time lapse and puts it on and puts a bit of music over it. The hardest thing about that's not getting your phone pinched, really, depending on where you live, okay? That might be the hardest thing. But he's put it over there, just put it on record, puts it into the app, puts some time lapse. Now that video there had around 3.3 million views, and then he'll repost that again and it'll get some more views. So it's a great video for an awareness. Now I'm going to show you a couple more now as well. I'm going to show you a different style. Sorry, I'm just going to put this all off. Okay, so we have a gyms conveyancing division. So you might have divisions where you go and providing more professional advice. Building inspections would be another one maybe. You can talk to the camera and just answer questions, all right? And the way you get those questions is you literally go to Google, type in your division, and there's a thing called Also Ask. There'll be a whole bunch of questions there. You can literally do a video for every one of those questions. Any comments you get from a customer or from someone asking something can be a video, all right? And those short form videos about advice do a really good job of showing of expertise. Now, in terms of the power of these short form videos, that video I showed you before of the guy mowing his Sammy in Western Sydney. This is one of his grids here from Instagram. Now you can see the numbers there. So that video had 3.3 million views. He had another one which had 4.5 million, 2 million, 1.7 million, 230,000, all right? So the great thing about that is just the amount of organic reach you can get. Most of those views will be served in Australia, so most of them will try and be served within the country. So he does a really great job for the division. Now, a problem in gyms, it's not really a problem depending on how you look at it. But when people see the shirt name for our division, they think that's the only service we do. So for gyms mowing, people just think it's mowing. For car detailing, maybe they only do cars. They don't know they do boats and stuff like that. Antennas as well, for example. They only think they do antennas. So it's really, really important to try and promote the breadth of your services and how many different services you are. Don't assume people know all the services you do. You know it, but people might not know it. So really, you've got to post content around that. So that's why it's great for these franchisees to do it, because he's getting 230,000 videos on a hedge video. Some people, believe it or not, might not know gyms mowing do hedging, right? But then they'll see that video and go, I didn't know gyms do hedging, and hopefully inquire next time. So that's a really great way of getting your name out there with different services as well. Now, tips for recording. Now, 2 to 3 seconds to grab attention. You will know yourself if you're scrolling through Instagram or YouTube or whatever you're doing on a short, you'll give it 2 seconds and you'll flick onto the next thing if it doesn't engage you. So you don't want to stand there and say, hi, I'm Bill from Gyms Mowing, blah, 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 blah. People will scroll off you. You need to have a way to hook them. So what's the hook in the first 2 to 3 seconds going to be? Is it going to be some sort of visual hook? Is it going to be some controversial statement? What's it going to be? So how do you hook people to grab their attention to watch from start to finish? Now, when you saw that pool care one for Brad, he showed the problem of the green pool and he's going to show you how to solve it. And he established that really quickly. So how are you going to hook people into the video? Record vertically. Now, we have a lot of franchisees who sometimes like to record like that, which is okay. But the problem is it puts black lines at the top and the bottom. Now, the platforms don't like the black lines at the top of the bottom. It won't push it as far. I'm not saying it won't, but it won't push it as far. So always record vertically like that. If you're taking photos, it's fine to do it like that or like that. But when you record video, always record vertically as well. Workplace health and safety. Now, this one here, you don't want to go to the trouble of making a great video. It's fantastic. I've made this mistake a lot, believe me, when we go to franchisees. And then the franchisee doesn't do something OH&S, and that's just something that someone will pick up on, and then we have to take it down. So make sure workplace health and safety, you're compliant with anything you put online, because it's a really big one for us. Now, anyone got any questions about the social media part of the presentation? Yep, hand up.
When you are actually posting these videos or making your account, you can't use your personal, you should create a personal.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so the question is about not posting on your personal account. Yep. So yeah, you want to create a business page. Yeah, you do want to create a business page. Okay, but you might have a personal profile where you've got 1,000 friends or whatever it is. You can share your business page content to your personal profile. That's what a lot of franchisees do. We have a lot of franchisees who might have a big social media following on their personal accounts, and they'll share their business content to their page as well. But yeah, you want to try and keep it separate if you want to have a business page. Yep, if you want to do that. Now, I'm going to talk real quickly about a couple of exciting. Yep, hand up. Yes.
Just one quick one. If you're advertising, say, through a small community, say for example through a school community,
yep.
Is that the same? You're not allowed to put your details in there?
Yeah, well, you just want to send me a DM or call 131546. If you're advertising on a community page, the reality is people are just going to message you.
So for example, my wife's in the school P&C, so she advertises
yep.
the business in the school letter and everything.
Yep.
It's the same. I can't put my personal details.
You can't put your personal mobile number there, but you can say call thing and ask for whatever, or just send us a message, and that's what will happen. That's what happens with the groups. Like, people talk about the number stuff a lot, but it's not really.
Can she post my business card on there?
With your mobile?
Yeah.
No, because that was a ruling that came out with the advice. That was done by a few people a while back for that, but no, you want to keep it safe. Yeah. But people will just message you directly in the group. I would encourage you, if you join that group and post yourself, people will message you. That's what will happen. All right, now we're going to talk about a couple of apps as well that I think are really, really helpful for your business. Now, who here's used ChatGPT or heard about it? Sick of hearing about AI and it's going to take your jobs and stuff? You're in a good position because it'll take my job before it'll take your job. We need people who can do stuff with their hands. So that's what we need. So I'm going to show you an app here called ChatGPT real quickly for those who haven't seen it. Now, there's a few apps that can help you in your business, but I think this is probably the best one. You can use this on your desktop. I'm just going to show you on the phone. Okay, hopefully if it works. All right, give it a go, another go again. But basically what it does, anything that's administration-wise in your business, whether it be writing emails to customers, sending newsletters to customers, anything like that, you can use AI programs. So ChatGPT's one, Google's got one called Bard, Gemini, whatever they're trying to change it into now. Then you've got a few other ones like Claude and stuff like that. But you're going to see a lot more of this stuff. Now, this is a tool that you can use in your business to help you. In the past, we've had a lot of franchisees, we say to them, send emails to your customers, send newsletters, all that sort of stuff about offers, and they don't do it because they might not be as confident as writing, okay? So you can use a tool like this. So what I'm going to give it is a prompt. Now, a prompt is a command. The more specific your command is, the better the output you get from AI. If you're not specific and really general, you might not get the answer you want. So the more specific you are with the prompt or a command, the better output you're going to get. So as a franchisee, you're going to want to send regular emails to your customers. You want to send regular newsletters. You're going to want to do a whole bunch of things, okay? You can use a tool like this. So for example, I'm going to say, I am a Jim's Cleaning franchisee. Craft me an email to send to my clients about a $300 spring clean special, right? This is a really bad prompt, but I'm just going to show you what it can do if you haven't seen it. So I've given it the prompt, it's thinking away. Now you can see there, it's giving me an email that I can send to my customers about that. Okay, now you might not like that, so for me I look at that and I go, it's a bit too wordy. So now you can give that some prompt. You might say, that's too long, and please add some emojis, right? So I'm just going to show you can give it feedback in real time. It'll take my feedback and it'll adjust it based on my feedback. And you can see there it's taking my feedback and adjusting, right? I prefer to use AI with desktops. It's a bit easier, but if you're a franchisee out in the field, you could use this as well. But you can see how powerful it is, right? You know how hard it was to get franchisees to send emails to customers about mulch? It was very hard because they didn't want to write. They couldn't write, and they're not comfortable writing. I'm not a strong writer. You can use it at school, exactly, all right? Don't tell your kids. But you can see there a tool like that. When you go away from here, you go, I don't know what to write or do, especially in admin side and stuff like that. You can use a tool like this to make your life a hell of a lot easier. And it just takes you giving it a bit of a crack. This is a free tool to use. You'll be on ChatGPT 3.5. This is number 4. Now that's showing you an email, all right? Now I'm going to show you a few other things as well. So social media captions. If you do a post, what do I write with the post? Now you might go, give me 10 social media captions to go with my dog wash post. That's a really bad prompt. I'm not being specific at all. But I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to show you just a couple of examples of what you can do. Now you can see that it's giving me some copy and paste captions that I can do as well. So if I'm out in the field and I do a post, I take a photo before and after a video, I can go, what do I need to put with that to post it? I can use a tool like that to give me a whole bunch of stuff like that. So it's a really, really cool tool to use, okay? Now you might go, well, I don't know what videos to create. What videos could I do? You might say, give me 10 video ideas to promote my building inspection. Let's say Jim's Building Inspections franchise. Really bad prompt again. You want to probably give it a bit more context than what you were trying to achieve and things like that. But you can see that it's giving me a whole bunch of ideas. Cool. So it's got to do a lot of things, okay? But you've got to know what to ask it. Now, if you don't know what to ask it, you can actually ask it yourself and say, give me some prompts to ask you as a blah, 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 give some context and we'll do it. I've also got a web page that I've made up for franchisees where I actually run through this in a bit more detail as well. It'll be on your slides on a USB. They're all specific to gyms. I've got copy and paste prompts there for you, so you can copy and paste them and put them into this. 2 other cases that franchisees do use this for that I know of, because I've interviewed franchisees and they tell me, customer emails. You might get an email from a customer, don't know how to respond to it. You can copy and paste the email. You can put it into this and say, please craft me a response based on this email, and it'll give you a response to it. Our national staff do it occasionally. I get an email from a staff member, I go, you can't write like that, what's going on here? And then I know they've used that. But you can do, that's what some franchisees do. Letter templates, debt collection templates. So I'll give you an example, craft me a debt letter template for an outstanding bill to a client. Bad prompt, but let's say bill to a client for $100. Let's say don't be too harsh. They're a good customer. So anything you're doing in your business that's administration, that's writing, requiring you to do something you might not like to do, then away we go. So then give me a copy and paste template. So when you start as a franchisee, you can set all these things up. You might go, there's my newsletter template, there's my debt collection template, here's my social media captions I'm going to use, all this sort of stuff. You can use a tool like this to do it within 30 minutes for you as well. Now, you can also change the tone of voice as well. There's so many things as well. Act as an expert. You might say act as an expert and it'll give you a whole bunch of prompts. You might say rewrite this in the style of Donald Trump or something like that, for example, and it'll do that as well. So I'm just going to illustrate you the power if anyone wants to read that out. I don't know who can do their Trump impersonation. You are a fantastic customer, you're one of the best, etc. So you can just see the power of this tool. So this is a great tool that you can use as a franchisee. You've got a really big advantage over people who don't use this as well. The last thing you want to do is come home and start writing out mountains of things and stuff like that. So use a tool like ChatGPT in your business to help you as well. But that's something I'd recommend. I do have a web page for this showing you more detailed tutorials on this, which will be available on the slides as well. Another app I recommend you get is Canva. Canva is for free. It's an Australian company. It's a really good success story. Now, if you want to make nice graphics and you're not a graphic designer, I'm certainly not, you can download a tool like Canva, which is for free. Has anyone used Canva before? Yeah, it's basically Photoshop for idiots like me, right? So we can use it, but you can basically, this will make any graphic design you want. It's got thousands and thousands of templates. You come into Canva and you search your division. So you might search, cleaning social media posts, all right? Then what it'll do, we'll go to its library and it'll pull up for you a whole bunch of different templates that you can basically just edit on the phone. So we have a lot of franchisees who might take their before and afters, they load a before and after into here, then they add a logo and they might add some wording on it as well. So if you want a really professional looking graphic, you can use something like Canva. We have a lot of franchisees who are starting to use this more and more. The great thing about Canva, it's for free. You don't need the paid version as well. There is an AI function in Canva as well, so you can actually type to it, say create me this, and it'll create you what they call a magic design as well. But that's a really, really good tool to use. So that's Canva and that's ChatGPT. So I recommend that you use those in your business as well. Okay, let's go back to the present. Cool. Anyone got any questions about those tools at all, or how franchisees are using them? Yep, hand up. Yep. Yeah, you want to fact check it. So don't believe it. Don't ask it for legal advice or for medical advice or something and rely on it and trust it. No. But what it's basically done is it's crawled a lot of web pages and stuff like that, and it's trying to give you a human-like response based on your command and based on what it's read. It works as predictive, so it's not actually thinking, but it's working. What's the most likely word next in the sentence?
For instance, when you type dog or said to turn every dog from grumpy to
Yeah.
So would it generally produce that response time and time again?
No, it'll give you different variations. Yeah. That's why the prompt is really important. So the more specific you are with the prompt, the better, more accurate, detailed you're going to get. So what I recommend you do, check out the webpage I made for franchisees, which is on this QR code as well. But you get some prompts that you know that are good and you just copy and paste them on a Word doc and you use them all the time. Yeah. But yeah, it'll give you variations. Yeah. It's very hard. It's very hard to know what it's going to give you. But this code you're scanning now, I've made a web page which is for franchisees. I update this all the time. It's on the USB slide as well, and I add to it. So I add to it about how to use ChatGPT. There's copy and paste prompts there, all these different things as well. If you don't get it now, that's okay. It'll be on your slide presentation as well. So I've got a bunch of videos on there for you to go through it. And if you miss it, don't worry about it. It'll be on the USB. But as I said, if you want to use AI tools, really good. You can use them for captions, video scripts, marketing and strategy, generic email responses, customer newsletters. That could be worth thousands to you, the customer newsletters as well. Even write your introduction post. What do I write in this local group? ChatGPT, write me an introduction post to go with my photo, introducing my services in the area, copy and paste it, put it into the group. Okay? Make your life a lot easier. Now, why should you be active online? Look, this is the last slide I'll leave you with. Sorry, Emma, I know you give me the dirty look over there. But why do you need to be active online? It's all about money, okay? You're here to be business. If you don't like social media, just treat it as a business tool. It generates thousands and thousands of dollars for franchisees each year. We have a franchisee in laundry who generates all their work from an NDIS Facebook group, and they'd probably be pulling in $4,000 a week revenue, they'll tell me, from laundry, okay, via Facebook groups, not Jim's leads, all right? So something that is really, really powerful, and I really encourage you to do it. What my goal for the gyms group is with this, I want to have one of those pool care guys, but in every division. We want someone who's mowing doing that, we want dog wash, we want cleaning, we want car detailing, we want building inspection, we want someone to be at that standing, because you can think about the power of the group and how many franchisees we have. So If you do have any questions as well, please come see me at the end. I'm more than happy to chat to you as well. My email is there as well. You can contact me anytime if you've got any questions as well. But I'm really, happy that you're here and that hopefully we see you as well at Arch Gym tonight. And if you've got any questions as well, come see me in the break. But thank you for your attention. I'll pass you back to Emma for the quiz. Question. Yep. Melanie, yep.
Joel, are you sort of confused with the franchisees? Do you have that set up? Like usually you do some interviews with franchisees?
For videos or?
Yeah, just if they want all the pages.
Oh, the landing page photos? Yeah, we do, yeah. If you don't, Charles does all the photos at the back if you haven't seen him yet, at lunchtime, yeah. At lunchtime lunchtime.